Hello and welcome to MotoGP qualifying here in Italy. Set to be quite an intriguing qualifying session for those who are just joining from the FP2. You'll know what's going on with the whole format of this session, but hold on. Just getting my notes in order. I've got them all over the place given Joshua's away. His is usually a lot tidier than mine is. So, hello. There was something I was going to talk about. Oh, yes, I remember now. Right, Honda apparently hasn't been good this weekend so far based on these last 3 practice sessions. Yes. I can see that Honda seem to be not very suited to this circuit, which, fair play, sometimes teams just aren't made for certain circuits, which I do not understand. I do not understand why sometimes they're just not made for a circuit. Sometimes they're more preferable to others, but it's one of the mysteries of motorsport in my point of view. It would have been interesting to see how Pecco fends against Martin instead of Mark, because at the current moment he is facing the same experience as Mark's other former teammates at Honda. Yes, I agree very much with that statement. It would have been so much more interesting. I miss Martin. I hope that Martin recovers very quickly, but I shall throw you over to TNT right now for the pre-qualifying talk, show, whatever the term is. I'm sure Joshua knows it. So, throwing over now.
In Aragon and in Jerez back in the day when he was at Yamaha, so he knows what it feels like, and he knows the challenge is massive. You know, the adaptation he's going to have to go through. I don't think people realize quite how much the bikes are different, and the tire package as well, and how differently you have to ride the bike. So we know he's extremely talented, but it's going to be tough.
Yeah, to jump from Pirellis to Michelin's and then go back to Pirelli.
To answer your question, my 2 picks to go through to Q2 are Ralph Fernandez and Nakagami. I have faith in them. Throwing back to TNT.
He's riding at the moment, and the way, you know, he's making the magic happen with the Pirelli tires. He's obviously got a special connection with with those tires, and for sure when they're going to come to MotoGP, the spec might be a little bit different in 2027, but still the DNA of the Pirelli is going to be there. So I think for sure the transition will be easier for him if the tire manufacturer was the same. So next year there is a lot of adaptation to do, and obviously the tires is a big one.
We're excited though to see him in the paddock, aren't we? Yeah. What does it mean though for Pramac? What does it mean for Jack or Miguel? Because clearly there can't be 3 riders in one 2-man team. Yeah, well, it means a bit of a heartbreak, because I think the Pramac genuinely as a team really get on really well with Miguel and with Jack. And Miguel, you can't help but feeling sorry for him because of the injuries that he sustained actually over the last few years, which were never his fault. So he was it's bad in that respect. And for Jack, Jack obviously got a special relationship with Pramac because he rode for them back in the days with Ducati as well, and he's done well this year. He started the season really well. So yeah, there will be a heartbreak there, but it's what it is. The sport is ruthless. Yeah, it is. Both being offered places really in other championships, we know, but we'll find out. It sounds like in a few races time Pramac will release what's going to happen with that team then. Both of those riders actually will be going out in this Q1 session. It's going to be tight though, because there's also Brad Binder, Enea Bastianini seems to have found something this weekend. Gav, the track temperature up to 44 degrees for this session, very hard to call.
Right, so that's passing back to me now, and I am not sure whether I have the radio mic on. I'm pretty sure. The 4, and it's qualifying 1. It has gotten underway now. Green flag has flown, and I have turned the fan on because I have the door shut, and it is currently. I know Joshua looking back is going to think it's like I am out there in the blistering heat. And you talk about a fan. It's currently 24 degrees. In fairness, he would have the right to be in. But he literally put this in specifically so that I could use it for today. Let's have a look what temperature it is at Alton while they get their while they get their opening laps open and done with. We'll also keep an eye on how they take each of the corners. Oh. So currently in Alton it's 23, so it's hotter here. Just see if Joshua's looking. Oh, and that's a camera getting a face full of green flag. I've never seen that before. Who thought of that flag and camera placement? Please. It's like, put the camera a little bit higher. Maybe on a stool. Ooh. What was that? That was Binder. Why were you wobbling so much? Even your mechanic there looked a tiny bit worried there. That was not a correct turn. Not one that went to plan. You can see where the bumps are forming in each of the lights on the track, and a lot of them in Sector 4, which does explain why everyone seems to lose their positioning a bit more in Sector 4. Though thunderstorms are expected around 5 in Alton. So that is not good. I both do not hope it happens, but I also feel like they could use with the cold air, given it's going to be the exact same temperature as it is here. Though I'd feel sorry for Joshua because he's walking around all day in the heat. So Joshua, if you're watching this, put on some sun cream, please, and a hat. Mainly the sun cream. So 12 minutes left to go of this session, and they're about to finally get their times done with. And everyone seems to be improving from their opening times quite well, obviously. But okay. That's weird. The Q2 times are very mixed up with this. So given the fact that that is what you are looking at, no. Q2 will not have someone in second and last place going through. It's meant to be the first and second, obviously. So we're about to get their times underway. There we go, it's fixed itself now that the times are coming through. Right, so Bastianini goes top with a 1:45.607, followed by Ralph Hernandez with a 1:45.214. Very good time there from Ralph. See, Ralph always seems to flourish in the opening sector. Oh, the Trackhouse are both getting very close to each other. Please be careful, Iagura. You almost just kicked Raul off of his bike. I feel like that's a case of not looking where you are kicking. Though Trackhouse are remaining very close to each other, which does give me a slight bit of worry. And who's that having to pull off to the side to get out of the way of the two track houses? Let's see who that was. That would have been Oliveira, who is on a slow lap, so okay, that makes more sense. I didn't want someone to get their lap time ruined. So I am very parched right now. So I'm very grateful I have my water bottle, because I've been talking so much. And Joshua, this is also a reminder, if you're watching, to please drink some water. It's going to be very hot and I don't want you to get heat stroke. Right, 10 minutes left of the session, and we already have people entering the pit lane. We have Miller, Iagura, Mia and Salvadorio entering the pit lane. Oh, and also Oliveira. You've been out there 6 minutes. At least wait 2 more minutes. I'm not sure I would actually just... I'm not sure I would go in the pit lane for this. I mean, I'm sure I'd be obligated to, but still. It seems inconvenient when you want to roll. And what's this? The 79 has lap time cancelled for track limits. And Ardiger goes into second place. Very good. Zaka goes into third. At least some more improvement from the Honda. Everyone else is remaining out on the track, and that's Ralph Fernandez's team currently talking. And is that Raul? Why are you casually sitting on the bike? Please do not. You know, when they have only one hand on the steering, that's what I mean by casually. That usually signifies an issue, but or a slow lap. I'm not sure which is the problem, given the fact that I've just seen his engineers talking. And we didn't even mention about Aldeguer, who's also in this group. Yeah, honestly, I did not notice Aldeguer was in this group until I saw it on the screen. He must have... I'm guessing he was in 4th, and... Why do I feel like Raul has a problem? He looks way too subdued going into the pit lane just there. Everyone else seems a little bit ready. Raul just seems like he wants to sigh extremely loudly. That doesn't sound like a completely healthy bike either. Let's hope that it's only just a minor issue and he gets that sorted quite quickly. He's looking at the timing sheets right now. So, trying to stop this from going off for 5 seconds. Right, so I'm not sure whether I actually mentioned who is in this session so far. Right, so Ralph Fernandez is in 1st with Aldeguer in 2nd. They are both due to go through to Q2 if the results stay like this, which they most likely will not, but they may build themselves back up to being like this. And that's Zarco in 3rd, Bastian is in 4th, 5th is Binder, Jack Miller is in 6th, 7th is Nakagami, Oliveira is in 8th, Mir is in 9th, Salvadori is in 10th, and 11th is Santra. And it's Ayagura. He has had his time taken away, and I'm going to turn off this fan because I still have half an hour in here, and I do not want to get too cold because then I will not get warm again. And I will feel like I need to leave the box. So, with Ralph Fernandez sitting just casually thinking through his battle plan, because that's what it is basically, a battle plan for what is to do next. And I believe someone's working outside, perhaps behind the commentary box. Right, people actually are on track, and it's... Everyone's looking to go out for a second run, who already isn't out on a second run. Salvadori and Zarco, I believe Aldeguer are already out on the track. And yeah, Raul is looking very happy. He's basically jumping to get a move on with his second run. And there was a problem. I think it was to do with the front screen, because that looks to have been briefly taken off. Because look, it's right down there, and that screen is off. So there was a problem with Raul. And it looks kind of a bit more subdued given the fact that they're still doing something with his front wheel. I think getting the cover on. Why do you need for getting the cover off? For a minute I thought they were trying to put it back on. It's gotten stuck. How does that happen? Okay, actually I can see why that would happen. I think it's gone too hot. But Raul seems to be laughing quite a lot at this. I think he might... he was going to help, but they've got it done. So they've gotten the cover off, and he is on the bike right now. Very happy to get underway again. Raul looked like a kid in a candy store. Or a sweet shop. Depending where you're from. But that is the expression. Just at the thought of trying to get a second run out there. And Raul is currently top, obviously, with a 1:45.158. Now, behind him, that's a difference of 2.5 tenths for Aldeguer. So Raul's got a pretty good chance of maintaining that first position. But now, as I say that, someone's probably going to be estimated first position. Oh, look, Aldeguer and Zarco both estimated for first position, but they are in Sector 2. That might not happen. almost never does. Thurman has been great so far this season. Looking forward to what he can do next year. He has been really good. He's been really showing the promise, and I think he's been one of the best, like, MotoGP rookies, as it were, this season, because he's been really consistent in how he has been going about and trying to keep up with Alex quite a lot. So I think it's really good to have a Marquez being your mentor, basically, by being your teammate, and then technically also have Mark's input as well from that. So he's basically got a really good support for it all, and he's about 3/10 up in the final sector. Aldeguer is right now, so looking to get past Raul's time. Told you, as soon as I mentioned, Raul probably wouldn't have to worry. He has to worry. Fastest lap goes to Aldeguer with a 1:44.894. I think that's the first 1:44, at least of today. I don't know about the weekend, though. Slowing down there. It's so hilarious just to watch them all slow down, because they all just put their arms on their hips, just like, that was a good lap. Which honestly is just, it's so hilarious to see, because like, I'd do that. If I was them, I would so do that. Right, currently improving is everyone except obviously the ones on a slow lap, but also Nakagami and it's Salvadori don't seem to be improving, though I'm thinking that's because they might be on a slow lap as well. Though Salvadori, an honourable mention right now. I mean, it's unlikely that he's going to get into Q2, but 5th position. That is amazing from Salvadori. Why can I hear the phone ringing from here? I don't know how that's possible. How loud is that phone? Why can I never hear it when I'm actually in the house, but now I can hear it when I'm not? Why? Right, 1 minute 38 left to go of the session, and Miller goes second with a 1:45.151. That is amazing from Miller. I was not expecting that, to be honest, from Miller, especially given how his FP2 performance was. Though, do you know what? Keep it up, Miller. Keep it up. Right. I should never have turned that fan on. Right, so 55 seconds left to go of this session. And there's not due to be any delays for Q2. But 30 seconds left of Q1. Aldeguer is currently in first. I'm going to have to sit down for the rest of this, at least until the wait for Q2 is on. Jack Miller is in second. If I pause every now and then, I'm still processing what I'm trying to say. And why has my timing's gone on the actual TV? There we are, they're back up. Right, Aldeguer's in first with a 1:44.894 as the checkered flag comes out. First across it is Ayagura and Chantra, followed by Oliveira. Miller is on his last flying lap. Raul Fernandez is estimated to get second position, taking that away from Jack Miller. So, who knows? Miller might be able to get another fast lap and get a second again, but that's unlikely. Raul Fernandez passes the line and goes second with a 1:45.137. That is very good from Raul there. Nakagami didn't do as well as I would hoped he would. I think... Oh, that might not... You could have thrown it to the other side now. Just taking off his visor strip. He could have put that on the grass instead of on the racing line. Please no one trip up on that. Nakagami is the only one currently improving, though 4/10 off the pace. I'm gonna guess go about 6th. That's my hope. To at least get a decent qualifying run for him, even though he's not going to go through into Q2. Currently doing a 1:21.767. That's 6/10 off the pace now. Okay, maybe a little bit less than 6th position. Where does Nakagami come out? The last one to improve on the track. Just going to have to turn that off. And it goes 9th with 1:45 points. I'm going to have to get up to see this. 6:64. Aldeguer and it's Ralph Fernandez go into qualifying 2, with 3rd being Miller, 4th being Zarco. Binder is in 5th. Bastianini is in 6th. Oliveira is in 7th. Mia is in 8th. Nakagami finishes in 9th. 10th is Salvadori. Ayagura is in 11th. 12th is Shantra. And I definitely feel like Shantra needs a better bike, because it doesn't seem to be working for him. It doesn't seem to be really giving the same positive experience as it does to Zarco, especially not around this track. But that's just something I've noticed over the past few races, and if I look like a floating head, please forgive me. I have a feeling someone out there just said no, because that is what I would do. Right, so qualifying 1 is over and done with. I can see there's a bike checking for what it's going to be like for the 2nd qualifying. I'll hand over to TNT really quickly while I pop out of the box.
Miller, but that's the way the cookie crumbles in this
so close
sport, isn't it? So tight.
Yeah, we're talking about tight margins. I mean, that was a great lap though by Fernandez, you know, right at the end. So yeah, disappointing for Jack and for Pramac that got no rider into Q2.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, you know, pre that session, you might not have called Ralph Fernandez, but he can pull a hot lap out.
No, and you can see there on those images, you know, how good and sharp he was during his fastest lap there. He left it very, very late, and you see that wobble there in the last corner. We thought that might have cost him his place into Q2, but he just managed to put it off. So yeah, for Fernandez, that was a great lap, great time attack, put it all together, and managed to put it there by the smallest margin. Davide Brivio will be happy with that. Yep, smiling.
Yeah, the 3rd time that he's got through to Q2 so far this season. They've got their team boss here this weekend as well, so it's quite a big weekend for them. Aprilia home track as well. Yeah, and for Fernandez as well, you know, they've been backing that guy. They gave him a 2-year contract last year, and they really put a lot of faith into him. The results have been up and down. You know, he showed promises, and obviously they are. You know, they are in a really great place to check his data and see what potential he's got. But so far, he's not really been able to put it together. But I think we all expect more from him, including his team. So, yeah, that's a great sign. Hopefully he can build on that. Yeah, so this, in terms of Yamaha, 2 of the 4 Yamaha riders are through to Q2. We can find out how the boss is feeling. We can probably find out how Fabio Quartararo is really feeling as well, because Nat is talking to Maio Meregali.
Well, Maio, we all kind of winced yesterday as we watched the track medic put Fabio's shoulder back into place after that crash. An impressive P5 afterwards, and then even today, a P3. But how is he feeling this morning? Yeah, yesterday for sure has been amazing. Luckily, last night we went to Florence to do an MRI, and the results was very positive, because they proved that the shoulder didn't come out. He tried, but he could stay in. So that was a very, very good feedback. Then our orthopedic tried to do some treatments to get some pain off. And last night he was already feeling much better. This morning he said it's not worse than yesterday. For sure now, I guess, because I didn't want to ask anything.
but I can imagine that maybe now he's trying to use more the other arm than the one that yesterday he hit. But I really hope and believe that he can do a couple of laps without breathing.
Right through that pain barrier, which he's done so far already super well. But Alex as well, straight into Q2, looks like he's made progress this weekend.
Yeah, I don't want to say anything now because we were all happy, especially for him, because in any case, this, you know, for the psychology point of view is very important. Now he has to try to do what the best he can do. Hopefully, I would like to see him starting from the third row, because, you know, then starting from the first few row, the race can go very different, and I think we did a good job. The bike is keeping improving. We were able also to introduce a new engine spec here that was it is slightly faster without any negative points. So we are really doing everything we can to try to bring both riders up there.
All the best in this session.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mayo.
It's an astonishing story, isn't it? And it has become even more so, I think, in that last session, seeing how well he was able to go. Mayo there saying, you know, using one... I don't think you can go around this track with one arm, can you?
No, not without breathing either, he said. Well, when he mentioned that, you know, without breathing, that's what riders do during the qualifying. You just really basically hold your breath and muscle the bike around. You sort of like override the bike. And we know Fabio excels at doing this, you know, with this, well, lately the free pole position in a row that I did in Qatar, in Jerez, in Le Mans. So we know he's super quick on that time attack. It looks like they... I was going to say they got a little bit lucky with the fact that he recovered so fast from that, you know, that shoulder dislocation, and it looks like this morning already he was on the pace, was able to do quite a few laps in a row as well. So yeah, a good sign. I think Fabio is he's going to be a contender for pole position today.
Because that's the point. When they went to the Florence hospital, they would have been worried about any little fractures that could have occurred or ligament damage. But like you say, the racing gods were definitely on his side yesterday. Yeah,
it would have been a close one though, because that awkward way he entered the gravel with his shoulder down like that, and he couldn't do nothing about it. His shoulder dug in, came out, and yeah, normally you get ligament damage. You can get little, you know, fracture, crack. That's what normally makes the shoulder pop out. So it's very, very good sign that there's no sort of injury like that. And
good signs for Alex Rins as well, getting through to Q2. He was chatting with us yesterday, very relaxed. What do you feel they can do in this session?
I think they can be super strong, especially Fabio, and for Alex Rins. Like Mayo Marigali was saying, his team manager, it's really important that trying to put it all together. So far, he's done a great weekend, and this is the kind of moment where you can build on that weekend to really bring a result home, because Alex needs that. You know, he has been struggling since the start of the year. It's a good track for him, actually, for Alex. He loves it around here. So, yeah, hopefully he can get in that first free row, and then suddenly the race, you know, the race plan just changed completely.
It's been Maverick Vinales who's been fastest across the weekend. Is he going to put in the fastest lap in this session?
It's possible. Maverick has been impressive, really looking good on the KTM so far. Looks like they've done a great job at the test, the post-Aragon test, and find some good solution for him. And Maverick is, you know, Maverick can make that magic happen. So far this weekend he's been extremely strong.
We'll also be keeping an eye out, of course, on the Ducatis. Francesco Bagnaia just a tiny bit quicker than Marc Marquez so far across the weekend. The crowd is filling up here in Mugello. There is a fantastic atmosphere. The sun is beating down, and this session is about to start from pole position. Gav, again, difficult to call.
Right, so qualifying 2 gets underway, and I had to rush out the commentary box faster than I've ever rushed out the commentary box before. Thankfully, I got back here with quite a few minutes left to spare, so I'm realising now I didn't have to rush as quickly as I thought I might have thought there might be an ad break, you see, because you never know. Heading out onto the track, you can see Bagnaia, and I've kept the commentary box door open because it was starting to get a bit warm, and I'd rather not have the fan on. Not yet, at least. And I hear good. Well, I hear that Joshua is outside in the sun for his time at Alton. So please, wear sun cream and drink water. I really don't want you to get heat stroke. Right, so 14 minutes left of the session. Everyone is about halfway through their opening lap. Well, the lap to warm up for tyres, and then having the opening lap, and then the lap where they actually properly do the lap. It's very confusing. Why do they have to do like 3 laps just to warm up? Then again, I suppose it is for tyres, though it must be so frustrating for them. So, let's have a look at everyone's times. They're decent times for a warm-up time, I will admit. Currently on board with Alex Marquez, looking back at the bikes behind him, and I'm really wanting lunch. And I know this is 10:30 in the morning, almost. But for me, it's a lot later because I barely slept. For me, it's like 2. 30 minutes left of the session. I feel like I'm giving you a minute every time countdown. Just because, what else is there to do when they are literally warming up their tyres and they have not properly made their own starts? Like, should we even throw to them until then? I'm so tired. What is this? For some reason, Ralph Hernandez and Aldegur don't seem to be showing that they have exited the pit lane on my timing screens. Hold on, is it the same for this? Yes, it is. Why is that? Hold on, let's see. Yeah, they have not exited the pit lane yet after their qualifying 2. What's going on there? That's incredibly unusual. Why are they staying in their pit lanes? Is there an investigation that I do not know about? Well, that's something to certainly be watched, especially before the sprint. I feel like I need to rush out again, so I'm going to sit down again. I think all this standing's getting to me. Right, about to have the first times on the board. Who is first to cross that line? It's Alex Marquez going top, immediately followed by Marc Marquez going top with a 1:44.500. D'Antonio goes third, but then immediately gets passed by other people. Morbidelli goes second with a 1:44.894. Bsky goes third. Alex Marquez gets pushed down into 4th position. Bagnaia goes into 5th. Bsky maintains his 3rd position with a 1:44.399. And I feel like I can be an auctioneer with that. D'Antonio is 6th. Acosta is 7th. 8th is Rins. And not yet to set a time is Vinales, Quartararo. And for some reason, Aldegur and Ralph Hernandez have not left their pit boxes yet. So is there problems afoot there? Because that's incredibly unusual. And Quartararo goes second. Vinales is about to make the first time for him. Entering the pit box immediately is both of the Marquezes. 10 minutes left to go of the session. And I'm looking this up with Aldegur and Ralph Hernandez. And if anyone knows why they have not left their pit box, please put it in the chat. Because this is intriguing. I have a feeling the lap record will be broken a few times. Yes, I agree with that. Crash Marc Marquez. I don't think he has crashed. I think that was just him going into the pit lane, though I feel like he might crash. Knowing my luck of being in the box, that he'll crash out. Acosta goes 6th, D'Antonio goes 7th, and Rins goes into 10th. Well, maintains 10th. Bagnaia goes up into 2nd with a 1:44.548. Morbidelli goes into third position. And it's... there we are. Aldeguer's heading out of the pit lane now for his first run. I'm guessing they might have been giving the tyres a little bit more time to cool down. It might be a bit too warm out there, so they wanted to give it a little bit of time, which kind of the opposite effect is what you need. But I suppose what you need is what you need, and Ralph Fernandez still hasn't made his way out of the pit lane yet. Wonder what is taking him so long to actually come out of the pit lane, and Acosta enters the pit lane and so does Rins. And D'Antonio and Bagnaia, and it's Morbidelli. Everyone's entering the pit lane, and Raul Fernandez hasn't even exited it. Aldeguer's obviously out of there now on the track. But will they decide to just not pit at all throughout this session? Rins just has done a 144.915 going into 6th position. And it's, right, here is Bagnaia. And immediately talking to his race engineer. He does not look happy. Also, that guy in the back kind of looks like a mix between George Russell and... who else? It's on the tip of my tongue. I'll figure that one out later. Though... can we have a look at Raul, please? Because why is he not gracing us with his presence during this qualifying session? Quite rude. The lap record has been beaten by 4 thousandths of a second to a much more happier time of a perfect 5.00, which honestly is just perfect to me. Wow, right now, sleeping emojis. Yeah. For someone who was so excited to get out on the track in qualifying 1, he seems to just be staying put in qualifying 2. Here he is, heading out onto the track for his first run now, Raul Fernandez, after not going out of there for 8 minutes. Well, 8 minutes, 20 seconds, technically. What were you doing in there? Is something wrong with your bike? I mean, I did say in qualifying 1 that he did not look happy with his bike. So maybe they were messing with that, but why did we get 0 images of Raul? What was happening in there? What was wrong? Why is it suddenly righted? Though Raul Fernandez finally heads out for his first run, and Aldeguer, why have you not set your fastest time yet? You have had more than enough time. I think it's in sector 3. It's like he's just stopped. Please move on a sector. Aldeguer is worrying me. There we are. Got moving again. Goes into, I believe that's 9th? 9th or 10th? 10th of a 145.525. That's a second slower than Mark's time. That is not like him. Why are you going a second slower? Are they both having problems with their bikes or something? Because none of this is normal. Especially from those two, but especially from Aldeguer. What's going on? Quartararo currently estimated P2. You see, Aldeguer, Raul, look at Quartararo. He probably had a most likely dislocated shoulder yesterday, and he is still doing faster than you. What is wrong with your bikes? Say that he almost does a wobble on one of the curbs, but he maintained his balance. That's good. Currently 8 thousandths of a second down on Marc Marquez's time. That's not too far off. Oh, and now he is like 3.5 tenths faster than Marc Marquez's time. And poor Bagnaia currently is P2. going faster than Mark's time, but he's not going faster than what Quartararo is currently doing, or what Mark's doing. Actually, Quartararo is currently the fastest person out on the track right now. So Quartararo goes top with a 144.411. Very happy faces from his pit box. What's going on there? Mark? No, that's not Mark, that's Bagnaia. What's going on? Why is there a loose flap on your suit? What's happening there? Why? That's not meant to be there. Has he not strapped something up properly, or is it ripped? Goes top with a 144.228, but apparently has a damaged suit by the looks of it. That's dangerous. Hope he doesn't get told off for that. Don't see why he would though. I keep hearing things. Why all question from the narrator, you ever one watching? I like to question things. Also, it's a valid point. So why? Why is this happening? I don't know the answers yet. But I will soon. 3 minutes left to go of the session. What? Why do you look disappointed, Quartararo? See, questions. He looks disappointed. And I'm guessing that's because he had the fastest lap and then it was taken away from him, not one but 3 times. Marc Marquez sets a new fastest lap, which is a 144 point. Can you show up? 169. Currently, with 2 minutes left to go, we have Marc Marquez is in first, currently on pole position. Bagnaia is in second. Alex Marquez is in third. Quartararo is in fourth, though he's currently in the pit lane. Morbidelli is in fifth. Antonio is in sixth. Seventh is Rins. Bezzecchi is in eighth. Vinales is in ninth. And Acosta is in 10th. Raul Fernandez, after a lengthy stay in the pit lane and only being out here for like 4 or 5 minutes, is in 11th somehow. Aldeguer is in 12th. Why is he back in the pit lane? You spent half of this session in the pit lane. Why are you back in there? Crash Pecco. Everyone's hoping for Pecco crash. But we have not had a crash today, which does surprise me. Maybe they're waiting for the sprint to have a lot more crashes going on, which, honestly, given I'm commentating on that, more than likely. I hope so. Kind of. But 1 minute left to go, and it's... Why is he back in the pit lane? Well, I just can't get over that. Spends half the time in the pit lane and doesn't think, I'm in last position. I'm going to give it a little bit more of a go. And it's... Finally! Someone tells Bagnaia, you have got something wrong with your suit. I believe that was Vinales, was it? Either Vinales or D'Antonio, I can't quite remember. I think it was D'Antonio, actually. Patting the side of his knee, saying, you've got something wrong. Please notice that. And he's kind of slowed down on the exit. I knew that was a problem he did not know about. Why is it taking this long for someone to actually go next to Bagnaia and say, oh, or like gesture, to say, you've got something wrong. Not with the bike, with your suit. Please don't crash. What's wrong with Bagnaia's suit? Right, so Bagnaia's suit on the knee seems to have a flap that's currently slightly open. It's like this spare bit of fabric, almost, that is open like on the knee, or like near the knee area, which obviously is dangerous when you're going down the corners, and if he crashes, who knows, it might get caught up with the bike, and it's a dangerous thing because you're not meant to have it going external. It reminds me a little bit of when, if you remember, Quartararo's suit was ripped open. Because of, like, I think the zip broke or Velcro broke. Whatever was holding it together, it broke. And he didn't have anything underneath there as well. And he had necklaces on at the time, so that was a dangerous thing. But this is significantly less dangerous, though qualifying 2 checkered is out. Mark owns the Italia rider. Yeah, I think it is around his knee slider, actually. It might have been a open flat from a knee slider, so that's actually a bit more of concern. Incident involving 93 Marquez and 42 Rins currently under investigation. I don't know what's going on there. They did have a slight word, but not enough to warrant an investigation, I don't think. That will probably be for like impeding or something, right? So this session finishes with Mark in first with 144.169, breaking the lap record and going into pole position. Bagnaia, finally, his teammate is in second position with a 140. It doesn't tell me. Oh, 144.228. In third position is Alex Marquez. In fourth is Quartararo. Fifth is Vinales. Morbidelli is in sixth. D'Antonio is in seventh. Acosta is in eighth. Rins is in ninth. Bezecchi is in 10th. 11th is Ralph Fernandez. And 12th is Aldegar. Both of whom spent half their time in the pit lane and have not really improved at all throughout this session, which is surprising and also a little bit concerning, because now I'm worried about what their bikes are like. Hopefully whatever is wrong with that bike gets sorted, and I think Joshua said it'd be more than months gone. Oh no, it's still there, just move position, not really getting told. Here's a replay of the incident between Rins and Marquez. He didn't know you were there, Mark. I think he's also on a fastest lap. You can't blame him for getting in your way. He was already ahead of you. He wasn't even overtaking. I don't think much will come of that. Right, so we're on quick offs today. So thank you for watching. Please go over to the main JB Motorsports channel. And to come back here later on for the sprint. I believe, I'll just check actually for you what time the MotoGP sprint will be. If my Wi-Fi wants to work. There we go. Oh, and there's the informing of the... I think that's the informing of the knee thing. Oh, and I think he actually fixed it for him. Like, after the session was done with. That's nice. Right, so at 1:50 British Standard Time, no further action taken after reviewing incident involving bikes 42 and 93. So I knew that would come with no further action. Thank you for watching. Please join here later, nearer to 2 o'clock British Standard Time. I think that's an hour later for Italian time, maybe 2, I'm not sure. I'm not the best at trying to figure out those times, so thank you for watching. This is the 100th pole position across all classes for the 72nd in MotoGP for Marc Marquez. So a big moment for Marc, of course, though unfortunately we will not be staying with this because it's a 100th pole position. And I don't think we're actually going to get an interview with him for that. So thank you for watching. Please join us again and go to the main channel.